New York Session live stream. First of all, we will redo our analysis. We will look to see where prices can potentially move. We may execute a trade, but it depends upon number of factors. So we will see how things play out. All right. Starting from GBP JPY, if we look at monthly, I was anticipating for the current monthly candle to flip bullish and continue pushing up, but since that is not happening, we will look at other alternatives. If we look at weekly, we created a support at 163.500 area. The current weekly candle has moved up around 300 pips from start of Monday, and only a day and a half is left in this weekly candle to close. So we are actually looking that if we have created an upper weekend, we can potentially move down, but it all depends. If we look at daily, the current daily candle has moved all the way down. We have broken below the previous candle low. So there is a probability that we can continue pushing down. And if we look at H4, in H4 we basically just moved down from the current H4 candle is about to close in 1 hour and 40 minutes. We will look to see where current 4-hour candle will close. If we look at 1-hour candle, if we break below previous candle low, there is probability that we can continue pushing down by placing a stop loss of around 21 pips. And yeah, I will execute on this trade. And this may be my last trade for the month, and my stops will be around 19 pips. And if we break below previous wick, there is probability we can keep pushing down almost 40-50 pips, and I will basically secure everything at 15-20 pips if it goes as per our plan, but we need to look at it in more details. And the problem is the 30-minute candle is about to close in 22 minutes, and yeah, I this is basically I and in 8 minutes we will be in pre-New York session. There is volume that there is probability that volume will hit into markets and we will get a move pushing all the way down, but let's see how things play out. Also, I don't want prices to activate my sell stop in first 1 or 2 minutes. If the current 15-minute candle didn't pick up my buy sell stops, I will basically close my order and I will wait for next candle. I will execute on next candle but not in first 2 minutes. And there is very high probability just by looking at H1 and M30 that we can keep pushing down. So let's see where prices can potentially move. In gold, waiting in gold, waiting in GJ. In GBP JPY, we have basically moved all the way up before activating our sell stops. So let's wait and see. Alright, we are waiting for GBP JPY to break below these lows to potentially keep pushing down. And for buys, basically I am waiting because we have very strong downtrend. There is probability we can keep pushing down. I am not looking for buys in GBP JPY at this time. And yes. I am waiting for this M30 candle to close. If it closes bullish or above this area 164.250, I will exit my sell stop, and later on we may execute, but for now we will wait. All right, waiting for candles to close. At this point, I will just delete my sell stop because candles have closed bullish, and although prices can still move down, but it uh, I am basically anticipating a consolidation in GBP/JPY at this point, and in 30 minutes New York session will open, and we may find some good trades on New York session. And if we look at gold, below 1735 is a clean range of almost 70 pips, and execution execution below 1735 makes sense, but for now, as of now, I am anticipating this move down as a potential retest of 1739 area to potentially move up later in New York session or NYSE. So that's my opinion, but we'll see how prices will react and how prices will move. H4 candle will close in 1 hour and 28 minutes, and basically it is very tricky to trade today, and tomorrow is the last trading day of the month, so I will rather take a day off on Friday. I will not execute on Friday, but I am looking for trades for today. On Friday, I will only execute on some clean and amazing setups. Other than that, I will just stay away from everything. All right. Basically took a trade in GBP JPY buys, secured 14-15 pips on this trade, and it was a counter trend trade. Else there was very good probability on setups like this that you can easily secure 50-60 pips on this setup, but it was a counter trend trade. That's why I secured positions early. Also, I went in with this very small lot, and yeah. So for the current week, I am break even, lost around 0.18 cents, and yesterday basically I took 5 trades. Four of them were loser, and then one winner that basically outperformed all the losers, made me in little bit of profits, break even the day. And if we look back, basically you knew if you have watched my channel that on the first week I was nearly around about at break even. On the second week of July I was again at break even. On the third week I made around 3-4% on my account, and fourth week of July I am again at break even. So previous week was very good. This week opportunities do appeared, but those opportunities were based on patterns that I have little experience on. So I was basically unable to capture those trades. But I hope so that in future I will be able to capture those trades and made some profits. So yeah, for now we are just waiting in gold and in GBP JPY. In my opinion, we can do a retest in here, or we can do a little bit deeper retest for prices to potentially keep pushing up later in New York session. So my whole bias for gold is bias, and I am looking for better execution. Bias will be valid only if we do a deep retest and continue and closed and break and close above 1739 area. And for sells we need to break and close below 1735 area. And the current H1 candle don't have an upper wick. There is probability we will create an upper wick in H1 candle, and in 20 minutes New York session will open, and in GBP JPY we are just in sort of consolidation. Even if we break above 164.500 area, we can't execute buys because this range is only 13 pips, is only of 13 pips. So the better idea will be to wait for prices And in GBP JPY I'm looking for sells below 164.250. I am not basically interested in buys. For buys we want some criteria to be met and we may execute, but we want some criteria to be met. Like for example, if we look at it, we have downtrend for today, so sells are easy once we break and close below 164.250 area. Just execute short position and there is probability we will move like 50-60 pips and it is easy to secure profits. But on the other hand, on the buys, we buys are first of all risky. Second, in order to execute buys we need some sort of experience and some sort of conditions to be fulfilled by market so that we can execute counter trend trade with full confidence. Waiting in gold, we are basically at this level 1739 area, and there is a probability that we can continue pushing up from this area, but we want at least one M15 or M30 candle to close bullish close in our direction so that we can execute buys. We will wait for 20 more minutes. For New York session to open, and then maybe we can get something. Waiting for M15 candles to close, and in my opinion we are stuck in consolidation in GBP JPY, and we also have a consolidation in gold, but this M30 candle close in 17 minutes will further anticipate, will further show us where prices can move, but at this point it makes sense to just wait. We are just waiting. We may get some trades later on, but at this point there is nothing. Waiting for candles to close in gold in 13 more minutes. Also, if I look at candles, the volume in GBP/JPY and in gold has started to drop because of small body and big wicks, so which is not a good sign for our trade. And yes, we will just wait at this point. Need to wait for 12 more minutes. All right, we are waiting in gold. In gold, there is probability we will find some good trades for today. We are waiting for candles to close in 8 minutes and waiting. All right. Gold is showing some momentum to the upside. The current M30 candle has broken above the high of previous M30 candle. There is probability we can keep pushing up, but we want this M30 candle to close and we may execute on next trade, next candle. And in GJ we are waiting for candles to close. There is very good opportunity for buys in my opinion, but we want this candle to close. Four more minutes left in candles to close. Just wait at this point. GJ buys are very risky, and gold buys are okay because we have this move up, and which may indicate that the trend is bullish. So we are little bit more confident in gold buys. हाँ यार गोली रखी। Alright, I am planning to execute buys in gold. Candles are about to close, but the question is how we will execute buys, where will our stop loss go, and where will be our potential take profit. Alright, candle has closed bullish, although we have closed inside this range. We didn't close outside of the range, but still M30 candle is bullish. And if the current M30 candle creates a lower wick first and starts to break above the highs on Comet Comics in 20 minutes from now, I will execute a position. So I am basically waiting for one more M15 candle to close at this point, or at least have a lower wick so that I can execute buys by placing my stops right in here below previous candle low, but I want a lower wick on this candle. So we are just waiting. The only problem is the H1 candle has closed with this very small bullish volume, so it is a concern for me, but still I will execute position. But I want current M15 candle to close, and on next M15 candle we have Comet Comics open, which is futures market for gold, and it usually bring market volume into markets, and we may be able to trade that volume push. So at this point we are waiting in gold. And in GBP JPY I am basically anticipating sell. sell below this area because buys will be very risky at this point. I am basically planning shorts in GBP JPY, so I will rather wait in GBP JPY. Although the previous hourly candle has closed above previous candle high, which may be an indication that the current H1 candle can wick low first and then continue pushing up later in second half of this H1 candle. And if we look at 4 hour candle is about to close in 57 minutes. And let's see how this 4 hour candle will close. And still I believe that there is high probability for prices to keep pushing down in GBP JPY. Yeah, in gold, man, I would have executed a position right in here, around here after this week, but I will wait for few more minutes because we basically just stops will be 17 pips. Let's try this trade on demo. The whole problem is we are breaking above highs in first 4 minutes, which is not a good indication. So I will rather wait in gold because if we look at H1, the previous two H1 candles have around 24 pips of wick, and for current H1 candle, I want I basically wanted a bigger wick down first so that I can anticipate prices to keep pushing up later in second half of this H1 candle, but we are moving up in just first 5 minutes, which is not a good sign for our buys. So at this point I will rather wait. Also the H4 candle will close in 25 minutes. There is probability that current H4 candle will flip bullish, but we will see what will happen. For now we are just waiting for current 15-minute candle to close. Need to wait for 9 more minutes. All right, GBP I was anticipating this thing, and stops will be little bigger. I basically wanted to execute sells right at this point, but I guess we are late. Waiting in gold and GBP JPY, we are breaking below the lows. So I will wait for current 15-minute candle to close and I will execute on next candle. But just by looking at volume, it seems like it will be difficult to capture this move because in 5 to 7 minutes we may drop all the way down around 50 pips. So, but at this point, waiting is in our best interest. Let me show you something, the mistake that I made yesterday. If we look at previous three candles, previous two candles were strong bullish, and the third candle was like it wasn't a bearish candle, it wasn't a bullish candle, and there was no information on third candle. So basically we don't have a reference point. If we want to execute short, we want at least one bearish candle to close so that we can create an anchor on that candle and we can execute short. Let me show you an example of that. Yesterday I basically executed short right in here because I knew that if we break below this area there was probability that we will drop till this area. However, if I look at these candles, the previous three candles were bullish and the current candle flip all the way bearish first and then flip bullish and close like this. So in order to avoid these sort of things, it is a best practice to wait for at least one bearish or bullish candle to close. If waiting in gold, it seems like our buyer's anticipation wasn't a good idea because we moved up in first few minutes and then we are dropping back inside the range. So we will wait for current 15-minute candle to close to have a better idea where prices can move. Gold, we are waiting. GBP is dropping. Yeah, I was basically anticipating shorts once we break below this 15-minute candle low, but the whole problem was that we don't have any bearish candle to close. We don't have any bearish candle closed before that so that we can execute on that trade. So alright, in 5 minutes from now, Comet Comics volume will open. We are still forming a sort of consolidation in gold. However, there is very high probability at this point. If we break below these wicks, we can potentially keep pushing down in this 26 pips of range. And if we look at GBP the previous M15 candle although was a bearish candle, but it still closed back inside the range. So it is, although prices can move down, but I am waiting for an upper wick to potentially execute short trade in GBP and yeah, basically waiting at this point makes more sense. Although our bias is shorts in GBP till 163.700 area, and in gold, Comet Comics will open in around 3 minutes. I will execute short position in gold. My potential take profits will be around 30 pips. If the current 15-minute candle starts to break below the lows, I will execute a position. Also in 3 minutes from now, Comet Comics will open, so let's see what will happen. Also, we need to keep in mind that H4 candle is about to close in 40 minutes, and if we look at H4, we are approaching a potential rejection area, and this is where our entry is. So we also need to keep that fact in our mind, because this is a risky entry, because in H4 we are approaching a potential consolidation area. In H4 we are approaching a rejection area, so prices may reject from here. Waiting in gold and in GBP JPY. Comet Comics will open in 6 seconds. Alright, this is now a Comet Comics open. The M30 candle is about to close in 8 minutes, and we will look to see if we can get our order activated. Oh my god, man. What is happening in here? So, alright, there was a lag in my server, I guess. My Alright, will wait at this point. I will secure at 10-11 pips. My position is not closing. I don't know what to do at this point. I don't know I like you see my order got first of all slipped. Prices went way beyond my order and I was unable to see my order activated right in here, and later on I tried to close my position but I was unable to close my position. There was some sort of error in here, so I basically closed my whole position. Else I was planning to hold on to this trade because there is probability we will secure till 1735, but still it is not a bad trade because secured around 10-11 pips. And I was basically looking at the error. I am unable to figure it out. Maybe I will watch live stream later on and try to figure it out. The error, I wouldn't have closed my entire position if it wasn't like if it acted like a normal. I do believe that there is some sort of issues. And yeah, we were anticipating buys in gold above this area, but those buys didn't played out. Later on, we spotted some excellent shorts in gold. We executed on those shorts, so we secured around 8-9 pips, but it went in 20 pips in profits. And at that time, I faced an issue of let me show you the issue that I faced. And at that time, I faced an if we look back in here, yeah, uh, yeah, if you see right in here, prices are way beyond my order, but I was unable to see any order activated in here. It showed me that order hasn't active. I basically checked my history, but there wasn't any order in history also. So yeah, it ac got activated later on. I don't know the reason, maybe. And when it went in like profits, I tried to close some percentage of my position right in here, but it wasn't closing, so I closed my entire position because I don't want to ruin my performance for the week. In GBP we are just consolidating. It was one big bearish candle, and the second and the next candle has failed to do anything of importance. We closed back inside the range, so there is no trade in GBP In gold, we executed a trade, made profits, although I still believe that we will continue pushing down till 1735 area. And uh, and uh, I am also looking for buys above 1741. We need to readjust. Buys above 1741. Other than that, we are in shorts, but we can't execute a sell position at this point because we have already moved. And if even if we execute right in here, our stops will be 32 pips, and potential TP will be around 17 pips. There are a lot of rejections in here, so sells at this point is very risky, and we will rather wait at this point. Oh, what is happening in gold, man? There was a low impact news today. It was a GDP news. We were lucky. We executed short and exited our position, and this whole thing happened. Yeah, now there is very high probability. We know that we can potentially approach 1747. I basically forget about US dollar news, and I am just making sure I don't have any open trades. Mm, Although in GBP there is still probability we can keep pushing down, but we are breaking below the lows in first 1 minute. I have learned my lesson the hard way. Yesterday where I placed my buy stop got activated in first 1 minute, secured a loss, so I will not execute on this trade. But still there is probability trend is bearish, and our analysis and bias is also bearish, so there is probability we will drop till 163.700 area. In gold, we are just waiting for current 15-minute candle to close, and we may get to execute a position on next candle. Now we will just relax and we will just observe the markets and we will look and see what happens at NYSE Open. Otherwise, our trading time and our trading day is over. Today made around 3.9 US dollar profits. Overall up for the week for around 3.88 US dollar profit. If we look at, yeah, 3.88 US dollar profit for entire week. And tomorrow is Friday. I may not execute a position tomorrow. So So our whole anticipation for buys is now completed. Yeah, at this point buys are over in gold and in GBP JPY we broke below the low in first 1 minute and still there is probability for prices to keep pushing 35 36 pips more, but we are not interested in that. And for us at this point our trading day is over. Now we are just watching market and we will just watch NYSE open. If we break above 1748 area, we can potentially keep pushing even further till 1752, and the probability of moving up is higher because if we look at 1 hour time frame, we basically created a fresh support at this point. We are in uptrend, we created a fresh support in here, and prices can potentially move like 50-60 more pips in buys, but the whole idea is capturing a buy position at this point is very risky. Our stop will be very big at this point, so it makes sense to just wait. Tomorrow is the last day of the month. Tomorrow market may remain choppy market. We may not get a good trade tomorrow, but remember that we will come to charts, we will do our duty and leave everything rest to the market. If we find some good trades, it will be okay for me to trade. If we don't, then I will just move on with my day. Alright, GBP JPY is dropping. We dropped like 16 pips. Still there is a room for prices to go down. And if we look left, first target will is around 10 pips away, and the second target is 32 pips away. I wanted to execute on this setup. I didn't execute it on this because we started breaking below the lows in first 1 minute, which is not a very good indication for trade. In gold, I believe that we will see a push up till 1750 or even further than that, and yeah, above man 1750 to 1765 is a very clean range of almost 120 pips. We can even move to that area, but we are just waiting. Alright, if we look at our account history for today, we basically took two trades, both were winners, secured around 20 pips on both these trades. Sorry, 10 pips on this trade and 10 pips on this trade, 14 pips on this trade. Secured around 25 pips for the day, and yeah, it was very good. Yeah, GBP JPY, man, this was amazing trade. I didn't took that trade because I have taken a trade in gold. If you look back at my live stream analysis when prices were right in here, when prices were right in here, I wasn't looking for buys at all. I was just looking for shorts. And then this candle closed like this, and on next candle I said that although prices are going to go in downtrend, but I will not execute on this trade because it is outside of my trading plan. As it starts to break below the lows in first 1 minute, that was my only reason to avoid this trade. Other than that, it was a very good trade to take. I will wait for 45 more minutes. I wanted to see how gold react on NYSE open, which is in 43 minutes from now. Other than that, my trading day is basically over. Took two trades, made around 5 US dollar, around 0.5% on my account. And yeah, I am only waiting for NYSC at this point in 43 minutes from now. Alright, at this point I will just turn off my live stream, and I will see you guys tomorrow, maybe probably in no trade day. And we will restart trading starting from Mondays. Alright, take care, have fun, and see you guys on Monday.